Hello, we're reading One Crazy Summer. This is the final chapter, chapter 33, if you're numbering things. I'm on page 211, and this chapter is called Afua. Delphine, Vanetta, Fern, get up out of bed. Come on, y'all, it's time to go. No one wanted to get out of bed. No one wanted to go, but Cecile stood in the doorway and called us one more time. Fern was the first one to spring up. Hey, that's my name. Our mother said my name. Cecile rolled her eyes and left the room. Fern was a regular jumping bean. She said my name. She said my name. Vanetta couldn't take another excited minute of Fern jumping on the upper mattress. Big deal. She said my name, too. Big deal to me, said Fern. She always says Delphine. She always says Vanetta. Today she said Fern, Fern, Fern. She jumped in between each Fern. Fern, not little girl. Vanetta flung her pillow at Fern, but Fern wouldn't be quieted. I said, that's not your real name. The one she gave you. It is too. Is not. We kept it up, Vanetta and I, on the same side for a change. Is too. Then I broke it by saying, your name is Afua. I wasn't known for joking. That sobered them as much as Fern's name, which they both mouthed. Afua. Take that back, Delphine, Fern said. My name's not Afua. It's Fern. Vanetta pointed at her. Aha, afuwa, fooey, chop suey, little fooey, all over my shoey. Fern turned red. This was the part where I was supposed to shut Vanetta up and take Fern's side. Instead, I said, get used to it. Your name is Afua, as in Delphine, Vanetta, and Afua. Fern balled her fingers into a fist and punched me in the stomach. Her hand was so little. I didn't say ow to give her the satisfaction of knowing she caused me pain. I just said, go brush your teeth, Afua. Later, Cecile said, why'd you tell her that? If I wanted her to know her name, I would have told her. I couldn't tell if Cecile was really annoyed or she was just fussing. I decided she was fussing and that I couldn't go through my life afraid of what my mother might do next. I shrugged and ate my cereal. Delphine, Vanetta, Afua, and Zilla. Some names made up, some not. Did it matter what they really meant or where Cecile got them from, as long as she gave them to us and to herself? We spent the bus ride and the $2 taxi ride to the airport making fun of Afua. Once Cecile said, cut it out. That was the end of us teasing Fern outright. Still, Vanetta and my constant smirks erupted into snickers. Fern stayed mad. When we got to the airport, Cecile called Papa collect. She turned her back to us and spoke to Pa for more than 15 minutes. Big Ma wouldn't be happy about the cost of the collect call, but I doubted Papa minded. While we waited for Cecile to finish speaking with Pa, a white man came by and said how cute my sisters and I were in our matching outfits. He still had film left over from his sightseeing trip and wanted to use the last of it to take a picture of us. Pretty girls, smile pretty, he said. I could tell he was a nice man, but Cecile put a stop to it while Vanetta adjusted her hairband, already posing for the cover of Jet. Cecile stood in front of us and said, they're not monkeys on display. The nice man tried to apologize, but Cecile wouldn't hear it. How'd you like it if some strange man came snapping pictures of your daughters? I felt bad for him, but I knew Cecile had to step in. Any mother would have at least done that. We sat in comfy waiting room seats without talking for almost half an hour. The hands on the big clock moved slowly. Fern nodded merrily like she was answering herself or singing, kind of like Cecile tapping out beats with her pencil. Vanetta fiddled with her hairband or twirled her longest braid around her finger. I followed the janitor, pushing his dry mop along the floor as people carrying travel bags danced around him or found seats. I stopped glancing up at the big clock or down at my Timex. I didn't have to. The queasiness churning inside me told me it was time to go. And then the boarding announcement was made over the loudspeaker. She said, go on, and we went. I expected Cecile to walk away, to cut through the terminal in man-sized strides as soon as we got up and stood on line. When I turned to see if she had gone, she was standing only a few feet away, looking straight at me. It was a strange, wonderful feeling, to discover eyes upon you when you expected no one to notice you at all. I smiled a little and faced front to find something to do with myself. Vanetta and Fern both held on to their own ticket. I reached to take Fern's ticket, afraid she'd crush it the way she was holding it. She felt me reaching and pulled her hand away. We moved closer to the front of the line near the ticket taker. Fern balled both hands, banging her fists at her sides, her ticket now completely crumpled. Maybe she was afraid of the airplane ride and getting knocked around by those clouds. Maybe she didn't know what to do with her hands without Miss Pattycake. Or she could have still been mad about that Afua teasing. My first move was to comfort her. I went to reach out to Fern, but she bolted from the line, ran, and jumped on top of Cecile. Vanetta and I didn't hesitate. We broke off from the line and ran over to hug our mother and let her hug us. How do you fly 3,000 miles to meet the mother you hadn't seen since you needed her milk, needed to be picked up, or were 4 going on 5, and not throw your arms around her, whether she wanted you to or not? Neither Vanetta, Fern, nor I could answer that one. We weren't about to leave Oakland without getting what we'd come for. It only took Fern to know we needed a hug from our mother. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed listening. One Crazy Summer by Rita Williams-Garcia. Thanks for listening. Good night.